The BBC has been forced to apologize following some of its analysis of the Ghislaine Maxwell verdict. Now, why is that? Well, it had to do with their inclusion of Alan Dershowitz to discuss these topics. So they put out a statement. Last night's interview with Alan Dershowitz, who they brought on to provide commentary after the Ghislaine Maxwell verdict, did not meet the BBC's editorial standards, as Mr. Dershowitz was not a suitable person to interview as an impartial analyst, and we did not make the relevant background clear to our audience. We will look into how this happened. We will look into how this happened. And I love Justin Ferragona's response to this. It's the only one that actually fits. We're all trying to find the guy who did this. What do you mean we'll look into how this happened? You scheduled him. Is the idea that they didn't know that he was involved in multiple corrupting ways in this story? Not only that he'd been involved with Jeffrey Epstein and setting up the sort of sham prison time that he had that wasn't prison time at all, but that he himself has faced accusations from the same people accusing her. Did they not know that? They're the BBC. Like that's not amateur hour. That's supposed to be big time. They should know this, right, Brett?
And in the interview itself, when Alan Dershowitz is analyzing the veracity of claims tangentially related to this case, wouldn't you know it? He impugned the integrity of the woman who accused him of participating in this. Like, not made up, very real. That is my recollection of watching the video this morning. He says, well, this is, it's kind of terrible how, the reason they didn't listen to this one woman is she's crazy. Like, the federal government decided not to include Virginia Giuffre at all in this. And isn't that curious? And anyone who's mentioned remotely close to it, we should probably give him a medal. Like that's essentially the through line. I love the BBC being like, and I'll tell you what, man, you're gonna see me twice on TYT this week because everybody's on vacation. So there's, the B squad's around to plug the holes, and someone in the booking department was like, we can get Alan Dershowitz, I guess, is a reason.
He's a name.
Vague, Christmas anti-Semitism involved, or that, but he's not doing anything.
Maybe. Look, that sounds bad, but I like that better than just, he's one of the people. He's of the class that gets to comment on these things, even if he's implicated. And by the way, we obviously have no idea about the individual allegations against him, their content, if they're accurate. I have no idea, so Dershowitz, don't sue me. But regardless, you can't bring him on to talk about it. That's just, obviously that should be out of bounds. Like you could get away with doing that in America because we have no standards for anything. But like, I feel like in the UK, they're supposed to be a little bit better.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.